Hi, everyone. Last night we went to celebrate my mother in law, Sheila Shipley Biddy's retirement. She spent 50 years in the country music industry, and she's a very lifelong legend in Nashville. And so, anyway, I just wanted to get on here and let everybody know what the video is about. And this is her retirement party, 50 years in the country music industry. So I hope you enjoy this video. And this is May the 5th, 2026 at the BMI building in Nashville, Tennessee. The first part of the video is going to be about the party and speakers, guest speakers. And then the last pictures and photos will be included family photos. And the very last photo, I wanted to make it a memory since, of course, two very special people in my mother-in-law's life. Sheila's husband, Ken Biddy, and her son, my husband, Michael Shipley. So I wanted to do this video in memory also of them, with their pictures at the end of the video. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video of Sheila Shipley Biddy's retirement of 50 years in the country music industry.
Can you still speak to me? I can't believe it. Recognized as one of the top 20 most influential women in Nashville in 1995, award-winning industry leader and Hall of Fame inductee. Yeah. Author of, and you need to get this book. It's worth every penny you spend on it, every minute you read it. She's author of Music in My Rear View Mirror. Beyond the resume, she was married to her longtime husband, Ken Biddy, in 1992. Proud grandmother of two, and a true work mom to the 16 persons in the NHA. What a lady. Isn't that little bitty country girl? Look at her now. God bless you, Sheila. We love you and admire you so much. You have done so much. I think it's time to get things started. I think we're going to turn our attention to the screen now and some folks who want to say a few words to her. Hi, Sheila. Hi, I'm so sorry. Congratulations on 50 years of music industry. What I'm ready to come. Getting been around 50 years. Thank you for everything you've done. Not just me, but all of you. You are loved in our house. We thank you. I thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Hi, Sheila. Sylvia here. Sorry I couldn't be there with you tonight for this momentous occasion, but I couldn't let the opportunity go by without saying how proud I am of you and how much I wish you all the happiness in the world. You're the same person all these years that I've known you. The time I met you, I think back in 1979 at RCA when we worked together there, promoting my records to the radio stations, to now helping me with my healthcare insurance. I mean, I've just experienced you as being the same person you've always been: kind, generous, helpful, never any. You're just who you are. You just always are who you are, like independently. And I love you dearly. I'm so happy you have a blessed next chapter of your life.
Hey Sheila, Sarah Trainer here. I'm so excited to be able to help you celebrate your retirement. You deserve all the best in this next chapter. I've got to work with you for almost 30 years. And you've always put artists and other people first. I'm glad you get it for yourself. Your time, particularly music health alliance, has been incredible for our industry. The heart you showed to our members and to particularly to our seniors and helping them navigate the care system. Love you, respect you so much.
Good afternoon, Scott Borchat here. Miss Shipley. So when I was trying to get her attention in 1990 as an independent promotion guy, she did not like independent promotion. It's like, it's the label and you stay out of our business. I would make a lunch with her. She would cancel day. I made a second lunch with her. She canceled day. One Friday afternoon, I got her on the phone. I said, "Do you have 10 minutes?" Reluctantly, she said, "Yes, why?" I said, "I'm right across the street. Can I have 5?" Reluctantly, she's like, "Okay." I run over. This is when MCA was on 16th Avenue. Get there, and I'm crazy about long hair, independent, kind of country rock guy who's working at Yale and the Kentucky Headers and all these other edgier things. And I said, "Thank you." And she goes, "What do you want? Why are you here?" I said, "I think there's some artists on your label that I could help you with, and I'll work them for free. Give me a chance." She's like, "Really?" I said, "Marty Stewart, here's what I'm doing with these other artists. I think I can help you." And she goes, "Well, if you believe in it that much, I'll hire you." That was the first record we ever worked together. It was Marty Stewart's first top 10 record. It was called Little Hillbilly Rock. And then she started hiring this wild. We started having a lot of success together. We had a very unrespected, not very respected, but she had no interest in getting to know until she got to. And then, you know it. You were absolutely right. I was that guy. I would not shut up. You let me in your house. And then she hired me in January of 1991. And if you look back in history, it was, I believe, January 16th. And that was the day that the Gulf War started. So I always said that I went to MCA and started a war. And it was a war that Sheila and I were going to win. They were never labeled of the year before. And the way, if you know Sheila, how specific she is with great intent and how she plans and schedules. And she goes, "Help me do this. Let's figure, I know we can do this. We have all the tools." Every year we were together, we were labeled of the year. She had a great discipline on how to run a record. She was really the first real boss that I had that had a vision and a discipline and a desire. And every time we put a record out, it's like, we want to break the record for the last thing that we did. How do we get more ads up to it straight this time? How do we break these artists? And I'll never forget that. And I'll always be grateful for that. And so there's one other quick funny story I want to tell you. We had this guy named Royce Risser, who was kind of an intern for us at that time, right? He's a Vanderbilt, he's a football player, wannabe actor. And back then we used these things called telephones, if you remember, push button. And so we ended up hiring him to be our coordinator. Yeah. And he was terrible. I think because back then you had to answer the call, say, "Who do you want to talk to?" Hey, look. And then you had to transfer the call. I couldn't tell you how many times he transferred the wrong call to me. And it got to a point, it's like, man, this guy is so cool, but he's not in. He's not committed to this. So I went to Sheila and said, hey, I have an idea with this guy. We're either going to get him in the business or not. Can I go after him? And she goes, yeah. So I called him and said, Royce, I'm going to put you on notice. He's like, what? I said, you need to make a decision about your life. I think you've got a lot to offer, but you got to commit. And he goes, well, what should we do? And if you know Royce, he's one of the funniest people you've ever met or haven't met. Because a lot of you haven't met him, but he's the guy when you walk in the men's urinal, he's got his pants down around his ankles. That's Royce. He's the guy, if you were at one of our movies that we did, 8 Seconds, he was the guy who would wait till everybody was seated, has 2 buckets of popcorn, and he would get right to the middle of the aisle, do his fake trip, popcorn everywhere. He was that guy. He was lovable. But we came up with something. I said, look, I want you to go to your sense of humor. I want you to start this thing, because he was always doing riddles. So I started calling him the Riddler. And I said, start sending out riddles. Fax machine back in the day, literally. And all of a sudden, we uncovered a whole new group of people that we weren't communicating to on a different level. And he found his thing. And that was the thing that got him into becoming the great executive that he became. But I was always so proud to see how you really stepped up to the plate and became such a great executive. And so it's great to see you here. And I know you love Sheila, the rest of us. And then where's Enzo? Okay. I'm taking up too much time, but this is fun stuff. So, in my second run at MCA, Enzo was Southeast Regional out of Dallas, right? And Enzo has this thing, promotion was so easy for him that he barely did it. Okay. Because he was running a restaurant, he was managing artists, and I had about 38% of this guy who 100% of him is unlikable. So I brought him in and I said, what are you doing? He said, what do you mean? He's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? He goes, a manager. I said, then quit. Go be a manager. And he's become one of the best managers in Nashville. So anyway, all these things happened because Sheila let me in her house. Nope. You're forever great. Thank you.
Just want to take a second and wish you congratulations on your retirement. And hope you're doing great. Hope life's good. Hope you're excited. Hope you have the best life that you had. Thanks for everything you did for me all those years ago. And thanks for being my pal. Congratulations.
Congratulations. After 50 years. Not an easy accomplishment. Congratulations. Not your having been successful in business, but you usher a generation of new executives. Guiding them, mentoring them, and it will be your legacy. I hope that you take the time to enjoy your life, focus on that. And what advice? Don't fill those holes in your calendar.
Sheila, congratulations on your retirement. I hope it's wonderful and peaceful and serene and fun. And I just want to thank you for your decades of service to the music community at large and to my family. Everybody around here loves you. Have a great retirement and many, many, many thanks.
Hey y'all, Steve Warner or what's left of it. You know, you get to think about what you're gonna say. Oh, I gotta say the right things. But I said a minute ago to someone, I said, it's easy when talking about people that you love. All you gotta do is just kind of tell the truth, you know. So, but gosh, seeing Joe in the video, Sheila, took back some memories. 1979, my first top 10, your memory. 1980, all received all 81, my first number one. All that to say that I got to work closely and fell in love with this lady named Shelia Shipley. And we got to be tied. I'm not going to say that I tried out a few new magic tricks and some things. I don't remember. But anyway, she was my guinea pig on some of that stuff back in the day when I was, I'll leave that alone, the magic stuff. The music career kind of was better than that career. But Sheila and I didn't realize at the time, if you could look into a crystal ball, I didn't realize that I was forging a relationship that I treasure all the way up to this moment, right this second. That's what was happening. And then I had an opportunity to be with follow Tony Brown over the MCA and meet with Jimmy Bowen and that group. And I thought, well, then I looked up and go, oh no, I've got the blues, like Chet would say. I mean, I've really got the blues because Sheila Shipley's not going to be there. Oh. And I get over there and they made her the head of promotions there. Oh boy! Oh man, one word, badass. Well, that's two words. Sorry, but really, I can't thank you enough. And of course, you did the pivot of all pivots, and with the Music Health Alliance. And oh my gosh! But you know what maintained was the heart. The part that stayed the same was your big heart. Because while you were a badass, you also had the heart that I've never seen before, and that was constant and obvious at Music Health Alliance, and hundreds of people that you guys have helped and changed their lives. You and Tatum, and everyone there at Music Health Alliance. All that to say, Karen and I will forever be grateful to you. We treasure and love you, and we all love you. And congratulations, Sheila, you're the best.
You know, about 50 years the name Shelia Shipley Biddy has been around this town, and if you wanted something done, that's a name you can call, and you can know that this lady is going to get something done for you. We worked with Sheila in the music business and the record business. I think Sheila was probably the first executive president to become a record label executive head. And I promise you, with the Music Alliance that she has so well represented, she has kept her business going even after all of the things she accomplished in the music industry. She's helped people that are like on the edge, both physically and with their career. She's just one of those people that you want to have as a friend. Sheila, this is your night. This is your time to be honored. I know you wanted to retire. You probably will never retire. There will probably always be someone calling. But we love you. We thank you for all you've done for the Oak Ridge Boys and our music industry. Thank you for all the wonderful memories that we've shared together through the years. And Sheila, we've certainly enjoyed working with you for all these years. If you are indeed retiring, please have a great retirement and God bless you.
Yeah. Sheila, Trisha Yearwood here. Congratulations on retirement, although I'm sure you'll still be working because that's how we do.
You're one of the first women that I met when I got my record deal at MCA, and I was just so struck by your grace, your kindness, and you were really a mentor to me. And I, one of the first women that I saw in power who was really just getting the job done. And I respect you, and you've been such an inspiration and continue to be. Congratulations. Enjoy. It's about time.
Sheila, Trent Wellman here. I just wanted to say congratulations on 50 years in this crazy business. Every now and then somebody comes along that really believes in you and empowers you and encourages you and elevates you and sees where you are and helps you get to where you want to be. You were that person for me. That time that you managed me, I felt like you were more like a mentor, more like a mother figure, and that you helped me navigate not just my personal, my professional career, but also my personal life. Everything from a record deal to a crazy baby mama. We found my first house and I cleared out with my buddy's backyard shed. I think when I finally gave up the dream being a full-time artist, you were probably more heartbroken than I was. And you believed in me more than I believed in myself sometimes. And I think that now that I've sort of stepped into this role of being a mentor to younger artists, thinking about those attributes that you have, Sheila, just such a great leader and organizer and helper. And that's who I aspire to be. And that's a hobby for Sheila. You have no idea how much you encourage people, generations of people in this business over the years have planted those seeds and ensure another 50 years of success in this business. So I just wanted to tell you, I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but I know you're surrounded by people that love and respect you as much as I do. And so congratulations on 50 years. I love you.
Hello, everybody. So great to see so many friends here today. Um, how often do you think, how lucky are we to live and make a living in the music business? It happens most often to me when I go home and I get to see the guys work in the oil fields in South Texas. And I just marvel that we get to make a living. We're so lucky. Um, I've been incredibly lucky to cross paths with Sheila many times. First was in January of '90. Walked into 1514 South Street, a place that had 36 employees. As a kid from South Texas, I was always amazed at the cultural impact that little building and those 36 people had. Sheila was the head of the promo department. Grit, passion, I mean, it was something else to see. I didn't get to work for her right away. I worked in other departments. But she had what was, to me, looked like the Mount Rushmore promo guys back then. There was Roger Cornwell, Joe Dieters, David Haley, Rick Hughes. I think Royce was answering the phones. We also heard just too far thereafter. Rosie was there, Lori Evans. It was pretty intimidating. About a year later, as Scott already covered, he came along. And it was quite a group to work with George, Reba, Vince, Winona, Trisha, Marty, George Jones, Conway Twitty, Bill Monroe, the Mavericks, Lala, and Steve Earle. It was an amazing time. We were so lucky. And I was so lucky. And my timing was amazing, apparently. The label of the decade that just started, I wasn't even aware. In '94, Sheila was asked to run decades, and it's already been said, and she sent me to Texas to be a regional for her. And it's already been said, but it is worth saying again. She trained a whole nother group of young professionals who went on to make their mark far greater than mine, including Enzo, Lee Adams, April Ryder, Jimmy Rector, an amazing group that went on to shepherd a lot of big records over these years. But that artist list was anchored by Mark Chestnut, Red Akins, Gary Allen, Lee Womack, and Chris Knight. The ultimate pivot, as Steve said so beautifully, was Music Alliance in 2013. And I've been really fortunate to be on the board with that organization since then. It is an amazing group. And I didn't want to work this in. Sheila always reminded me of Dolly Parton. All that grit, all that just in your face. You remember Dolly Parton, 9 to 5? She told that guy, she said, I'm going to turn you from a rooster to a hen with one shot. That's her. I know I heard her say it many times. But just like Dolly, the real impact, Dolly's real impact is going to be at the National Library. Sheila's real impact, as successful as she has been in entertainment, at least in mine, is what her and Tata have done with the Music Alliance, helping our own when we are most needy.
Yeah.
Sheila, I feel so lucky to be in your path. I feel blessed to have been in your path this whole time. First of all, it's already been said to you, I know you're not retiring because you don't know. So you're just shifting down a gear. That's all. But congratulations on an amazing professional run. I don't know what you're doing next, but I hope I'm in that path again. Congratulations. Now, to steal a line from the brothers Osborne, the Mother Teresa of Music Row, Tatum Austin.
So I had to write this down. And this is going to be hard. But first, I want to thank Kristen Pridgeon for putting this all together. There's a lot of care and intention that went with every single detail, just as Sheila would have it. And Sheila, my God, where do I begin? 12 years, 5 months, 20 days at Music Health Alliance. You built our senior care program from nothing. You helped serve more than 40,000 music industry professionals. And you helped save over $175 million in healthcare resources. Yeah. These numbers, they're staggering, but they're not the story, because the story is you. 50 years showing up in this crazy business. 50 years of carrying people when they couldn't carry themselves. 50 years of building something that's going to outlast us all. You set a table for years that have not yet been lived. And the truth is, you carried more than your share to get there. Way more. More than most people ever will. And you never once asked for a lighter load. Sheila, there are not words wide enough to hold what you've meant to me, because you've never been just a colleague, a title, or my intern supervisor 30 years ago. You've been something steadier, something so rare. You've been a mothering presence in my life. You didn't announce it, you just lived it. Steady, patient, certain, and you always showed up. You teach without making anyone feel small. You share years of wisdom and it arrives so gently. And you hold space and listen in a way that makes us all feel safe enough to be truly honest. And the way you carry your faith, it's quiet
and it's sincere, and it has a way of making me believe a little more just by standing close to you. Angels walk among us. I've always believed that you are absolutely one of them, flying just a little too close to the ground. And I know I speak for our entire team when I say who we are today carries your imprint, your strength, your grace, your fierce protective love for people. It shows up in how our team leads and how they care and how we refuse to quit on the people who need us most. And here's what I want you to know tonight. You will always have a place at Music Health Alliance, not just in name or in memory, but in the way each one of this team thinks, in the way we show up, in the standard we are going to spend years and years trying to meet. You are part of our foundation, not just for what you built at MHA and in the 50-year legacy you have in the business of music, but for what you've built in each person standing in this room. Sheila, you're a bona fide effing icon. One of the favorite things that Sheila says is, well, shit almighty. Sheila, we love you, we honor you, and we are all so much better because of you. Thank you for everything. Will you please come up here and let us give you a little signal? I'm never gonna let you talk. Get a new car? Drop it, button. This is from a little bit for you. Okay. You can say shit on it. Because it's anything in the music industry, right? 100%. And to our team, this is not just for 12 years in MHA, this is 50 years in this. So Walton's like the mountain? Yeah. Good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. That's for the bona fide star.
Wow.
This is from our team for you, Sheila, that represents 50 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now the icon gets the microphone.
My speech is in my purse and I don't know where they took it. So I think I'll do an ad lib as I've done in years past. First off, I want to thank Tatum Mouse for having a vision in me. When she called me after independent label had closed over Labor Day, she started talking to me about this nonprofit that she'd come up with, and she's talking about navigators and advocates, and I'm like, Lord, there's all this lingo that I've never heard before. So we were meeting in 2 weeks, and I studied everything I could about insurance, which I swore I'd never do, and all these challenges that were going to be for me to have to learn. But I thought, we can learn it. And she came up, and never once did she look at me and say, you're too old. I mean, I was trying to get jobs in the music business, and I couldn't even get a phone card. But she never said I'm too old. She looked at me and thought, you've got the skill set that I need. And they joke at MHA and other places that I'm so organized that I laminate my thoughts. And it's kind of true, but I do have a little leeway. So 12 and a half years later, through a lot of struggles and a lot of challenges, we made it. So I want to thank her. I want to thank the MHA Board of Directors for allowing us to have this little gathering here, and BMI for this space. I came here so many times for #1 parties, DECA parties, album launches, you name it. We were in this building, and I never, in my wildest imagination, ever thought that I'd be here celebrating something that I did, let alone 50 years. The MHA staff has been a gift to me through some very difficult times, and I think they have seen that I held steadfast and never wavered, I hope, in my attention to duty and others. You know, I dealt with people when I was in the ICU.